Under Brian Thompson's leadership as CEO of United Healthcare, the company saw substantial growth and expanded its influence in the healthcare sector. However, his tenure has been mired in controversy. Critics accused Thompson of prioritizing profits over patient welfare, pointing to policies that cut coverage, raised premiums, and increased out-of-pocket expenses for consumers. His strategies, including a lack of transparency in claims processing, have drawn widespread dissatisfaction and raised questions about fairness in the system. While Thompson promotes himself as a philanthropist, detractors argue that his decisions have deepened healthcare disparities. His impact on the industry remains a polarizing topic, balancing financial success against the social consequences of his approach. Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old hailing from an influential Maryland family, shocked his community with his arrest for the murder of Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. Mangione's privileged upbringing included attendance at prestigious schools, culminating in academic success at the University of Pennsylvania, where he was admired by classmates. However, beneath his polished exterior, Mangione battled personal struggles, particularly debilitating back pain. This condition, which worsened during his time in a surfing community in Hawaii, fueled his frustration and resentment toward the healthcare system, a resentment that would ultimately play a central role in the events leading to his arrest. Over time, Mangione's frustration shifted into an ideological vendetta against health insurance companies, whom he believed were exploiting people for profit. His worldview became increasingly radical, with his views toward the healthcare system growing more hostile. He viewed individuals like Thompson, leading one of the largest health insurance companies in the U.S., as symbols of the systemic greed he despised. Mangione's growing anger was compounded by the belief that companies like United Healthcare, which he deemed parasitic, were profiting from the suffering of people like him who were struggling with chronic conditions. This resentment was evident in a handwritten note found during his arrest, which included deeply negative remarks toward corporate America. The note referred to the insurance industry's notorious tactics for denying claims and expressed an almost violent dissatisfaction with the system. Investigators also uncovered a Reddit account linked to Mangione, where he openly discussed his ongoing health struggles, including back pain and its impact on his life. His post revealed an increasing bitterness toward the medical system, which he believed had failed him. The discovery of his interest in Theodore Kaczynski, the infamous Unabomber, raised further alarm. Mangione had reportedly read Kaczynski's manifesto, which criticizes industrial society and its exploitation of the individual. While Mangione was not overtly violent, his admiration for Kaczynski's anti-corporate rhetoric suggested that he had adopted some of the radical views Kaczynski espoused. These materials, combined with Mangione's own ideological shift, illuminated the deeply personal and complex motivations behind his crime. Despite his prestigious upbringing and academic success, Mangione's internal struggles, marked by physical pain and a growing ideological disillusionment, seemed to have consumed him. His actions shocked friends, family, and those who had known him as a capable, promising individual. What was once a promising future for Mangione ended in a senseless act of violence, leaving a community grappling with the question of how someone with so much potential could fall so far. His arrest and the subsequent investigation unveiled a tragic combination of personal pain, radicalization, and misplaced vengeance, culminating in the murder of a prominent CEO. Mangione's hatred toward Thompson and United Healthcare built over years of personal frustration with the healthcare system. He had struggled to obtain insurance coverage for necessary treatments, and this frustration, mixed with his growing resentment of the corporate world, led him to target Thompson. Mangione saw himself as a force of justice, believing he was carrying out a necessary act of retribution against a man who symbolized the very system he despised. On December 4, 2024, Mangione put his deadly plan into action. Disguised and armed, he approached Thompson outside the Hilton Midtown Hotel in New York City, where United Healthcare's annual investors conference was taking place. The attack was quick and premeditated. Mangione shot Thompson in cold blood, then fled the scene on foot, disappearing into the night. In the chaos that followed, Mangione managed to escape undetected, despite the fact that surveillance footage captured his image. In the days following the murder, Mangione continued to elude the police. Authorities launched a massive manhunt, with the FBI offering a substantial reward for information leading to his capture. Mangione moved across several cities in Pennsylvania, bouncing from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh to Altoona, attempting to blend in and avoid detection. The authorities were left with few leads, but they never stopped searching. His arrogance, however, led to his downfall. In a critical mistake, Mangione was spotted at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, by an employee who recognized his face from the media. The tip was immediately reported to local authorities, who responded quickly. When they questioned Mangione, they found him in possession of several fraudulent IDs, a firearm, and other incriminating items, including a 3-page handwritten document that outlined his motivations for the murder. The document revealed Mangione's belief that he was serving as an avenger, acting against what he saw as the injustices perpetuated by the healthcare system and its corporate leaders. Mangione's capture was a result of old-fashioned police work and the help of the public. Authorities linked the gun he carried to the one used in the murder, and surveillance footage from the days before the killing confirmed his presence in several locations tied to the crime. A search of his belongings revealed clothing and equipment consistent with what was seen in the footage from the murder scene. In addition, his use of a fake ID to check into a hostel on the Upper West Side further solidified his connection to the crime. The police investigation into the murder of Brian Thompson unfolded over several days after the shooting in New York City. Initial efforts focused on the investigation of the crime scene, where officers discovered shell casings with words like deny, defend, and depose, likely referencing insurance tactics. These clues led investigators to suspect Luigi Mangione, who had a known resentment against the insurance industry. The breakthrough came when law enforcement traced Mangione's movements to Altoona, Pennsylvania. On Monday, just days after the murder, Mangione was located at a McDonald's. Upon his arrest, he was found in possession of a firearm, bullets, multiple fake IDs, and cash. In addition, a handwritten document detailing his negative feelings toward corporate America was recovered, reinforcing the motive behind the crime. The arrest occurred around 4 days after the murder, with officers making swift use of social media posts and surveillance footage to track Mangione. Police connected his deep-seated animosity toward health insurance companies, which he referred to as parasitic, to his motive. Investigators believe that Mangione's chronic health issues, including severe back pain, fueled his anger towards the medical system, leading him to target a figure like Thompson, whom he saw as emblematic of the problem. Throughout the investigation, Mangione's background was examined in depth, revealing a highly intelligent man with no prior history of violence. Former friends and acquaintances described him as a smart and normal individual, though some mentioned his struggles with chronic pain and how it affected his outlook. It was later discovered that Mangione had been actively reading anti-establishment literature, including works by Theodore Kaczynski, the infamous Unabomber, and had made statements about parasitic corporate entities. Also, Luigi's photos started being seen on the news because of the following. Authorities on Thursday released images of the suspect taken from a surveillance camera at the HI New York City hostel at West 103rd Street on the Upper West Side, where it appears the suspect shared a room with 2 other men. According to police sources, police were able to find an image of the suspect without his face mask because he was flirting with the woman who checked him into the hostel, police sources told ABC News. As he stood at the check-in desk, the sources said the woman asked to see his smile. The suspected shooter obliged, pulling down his mask long enough for the surveillance camera to capture his face. The investigation also revealed that Mangione's mother had reported him missing the previous month, raising questions about his mental state leading up to the murder. The discovery of a public altercation with a healthcare system that had failed him was seen as a significant factor that contributed to the escalation of his anger. The police, through diligent work and coordinated efforts, apprehended Mangione before he could flee, preventing further escalation of his violent thoughts. Ultimately, Mangione's arrest was the result of an intricate investigation combining forensic evidence, social media tracking, and traditional law enforcement methods. Despite the shock surrounding his privileged background, the investigation pointed to a deeply personal and ideological motive that drove him to commit such a heinous crime. Luigi Mangione's killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson underscores the devastating consequences of perceived injustice taken to violent extremes. Mangione's act of vigilantism came to an end through a mix of determined police investigation and errors on his part, leading to his arrest. Now facing murder charges, his actions prompt deep reflection on the nature of justice and the personal grievances that can drive such acts. The tragedy has left a lasting impact on Thompson's family and sent shockwaves through the healthcare industry. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, and share this channel for more content like this. See you in the next video.